Welcome welcome all to a game that is new to the channel, but not new to me. That is Wildermyth. We've played a little bit of this on stream here. Catch us at twitch.tv/Indoor if you want to see it live. But it's a great game. It's kind of like a D&D papercraft, you know, multiple decisions over the course of kind of generations, as you can have characters that age out, you know, they reach their retirement age, they give up their adventuring ways, their lifestyle, and pass the torch on to the new generation. So with that in mind, we're going to be playing from the start here as we go new story. We're going to go for the Enduring War. I have played Age of Ulstrix on the second easiest difficulty, which I believe is kind of akin to normal. Then there is a hard and then there is a nightmare difficulty. We'll see that in just a second. So the Enduring War, centuries-old war resurfaces, bringing with it questions of humanity, identity, and the price of ambition. A 5-chapter story with Morthagi as the main threat. Now, Morthagi are kind of automaton-type creatures, but we'll learn a little bit more about this a little bit later on, so I don't want to spoil it for you in any stretch of the imagination. So there we go, we're going for Walking Lunch, so that is of course those who revel in misery. Well, that is me for sure, you know. Morthagi is there, Walking Lunch, that means that we have difficulty there for the combat side of things, but also for the out of combat side of things, so maybe our events are less fortunate to us. But in any case, let's just start off here. I mean, that looks not too far off me with the beard there, so I think we'll start off with you. Future Hunter sounds great. Bara sounds good as well. With regards to a Mystic, why don't we go for, let's see here. What about Gawler? Gawler and Bara and myself as Paxis. Starting calamities, we want to start with 0, because extra calamities make it even more difficult, and it's going to be hard enough here, trust me. So, Cowardly. Now, Cowardly is the only downside that I can really see here. As we can see, we've got a whole bunch of relationship stats down here, so I wonder what Cowardly does as well, because if we look, there is somewhere that I can see Cowardly. I'm not too sure where that is. Maybe it changes, not our health, but our abilities. So I think we actually reroll, because I don't really want Cowardly as an option. Aloof, hot-headed, decisive coward, goofish leader. There we go. Goofish, 2 goofishes. Do we want 2 goofishes? No. How about a romantic peacemaker? There we go. So, goofy, compassionate, and romantic. That's our mixture. We have a warrior, a hunter, and a mystic. Those are the 3 kind of classes that we can come across. We can kind of have different paths in between that, but still, that's kind of the way, the general overview of the class, I suppose. 1,000 years earlier. So we see somebody working hard there. Nilvi, the initial limbs are a success. I am confident the premise is sound. The thought of that sickness taking you first is too much to bear. We can ride this out together. We can endure. So they're looking for some sort of everlasting life there, above and beyond what is normal or natural for a human. Dagon, you can't be serious. There were things they told us of, things without souls that walk in forgotten places, following orders from centuries ago. Don't linger in caves, don't delve too deep. Could be Morthagi down there, so that is of course our main threat. And this is our party here. A friend of mine went down only way once, I was furious with him. Nightjaw was always our go-to threat growing up, now that was a monster. And things in the dark can be left unseen. So, we have Bara, Redia, and Danny, I'm just going to call her Danny. So we have a frog off to the side until suddenly they can't. And the Morthagi tells us to run. Alright, so he just dodges past us. We get ready to attack him. And then we hear other Morthagi chasing in hot pursuit right on his heels. Those who can fight, make sure those who can't are safe. Ready to grab whatever you can, swing, and come on. So, we either get the rivalry going, we get the friendship, or we get romance. I like the idea of romance because we can get special combat bonuses there, such as Lover's Vengeance. So whenever they hit one of us and the other one, if they attack the monster that hit that person, they get extra damage there. So we'll start the relationship here. And there we go. So romantic start to their path. There we go. Stoicism, all heroes, +1 armor and +1 warding. +1 armor is physical resistance, +1 warding is magical resistance. So there's 2 types of damage here, physical and magical basically in the game. And we have 2 Spectics and a Sommelier. I believe the Spectics are melee units and Sommelier are the ranged units. And here we go. We have one down here to the south. We could take a shot here. And one thing that is important in this game is the option to, first of all, you see here the little blue line. that means that they are currently giving each other a little bit of extra armor in the form of this here. So that's kind of standing next to each other gives them a bonus. But also, there is adjacency attacks there, which if we go here, for example, we could take a shot here. You'll see that that has a 79% chance to hit, and a chance to stunt for 2 extra damage of 14%. It's kind of hard to see there, but trust me. So let's see, with that hit, we do get the hit, and we do get a stunt of +1 damage. Now, you'll also see, while that attack was from this angle, if we attack from about a 90-degree angle or greater, which is kind of a flanking shot, then we will do even more damage. So if I come over to here, which will probably reveal our next enemy, then I should be able to smack you for a 100% chance to hit. We knock you back 1, and then we do full damage and finish you off. So that's really good to see. And now for Danny, I think we just bring you up here, as we talked about, give yourselves an extra little bit of an armor. Now we wait for the Spectre to come in range. And of course we have the Sommelier off to the right as well. So Sommelier going to attack. We take some damage there. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. You have 2 armor, you have 2 armor, so that's not great. But what we can do is what we did just before, which is we could look to walk around, hop behind, and then kind of start smacking from both ends. So I might actually do that. I'm going to walk here. I'm then going to smack you. The dodge is not great, but even so, even though you dodged, we still can get the extra bonus attack from this side. So we're going to go for that. We get 2 damage, Lover's Vengeance +1. We then do the same over here. We walk to this side, and then we look to smack you again from this side, which is extra damage. It is going to knock you back. The knockback is okay, but unfortunately there, Red Air might take a bit more of a hit. Thankfully they're splitting their damage dealing at the moment. Everyone's kind of taking a little bit of a hit. You can just reach there. You can definitely reach there. Who's going to get the hit here? 79% chance to hit. Maybe we just go for you. And that might be the way to go about it. 79% chance that we need to make sure that we get a kill. And that is indeed what has happened there. So, with that in mind, we could then move Red Air up. But Red Air could get killed, basically, is what I'm saying. But I don't think he will, because he's got 1 warding. So if we go to here, we could then smack you here. I think we bring you over to here. Why don't we start with the shot here? Okay, 1 damage, and then you smack you that way. We now get the little adjacency bonus. You can see with that little red triangle. Extra damage, Lover's Vengeance, knockback of 1. So that Lover's Vengeance is because Bara and Red Air are a couple, more or less. We're going to take the shot here first, 74%, and then we will just bring Red Air across the side. Actually, we can't get the extra damage here, unfortunately, so we'll just bring you across to here. 74% chance, we managed to finish you off, and that should be the end of our first combat. So, really, really basic. Usually our Mystic would be doing magic spellcasting, but they were a future Mystic, so not a current one. Melee actions only cost 1 action, that's fantastic. +2 speed and broad swipes. I like Battle Dance. If you get close to an enemy, then you can smack multiple times. That means that your damage can basically double quite easily. Once per turn, Bara is refunded an action point after a melee kill. See, Bara is supposed to be a hunter though, so melee kills are not that useful. Flash Cone could be useful, but I'm not too sure that we do go for that one. I think instead we go for the jump jaw, which can be used as a swift action. Swift actions are a little bit different. If we look up here, 2 actions per turn. Attacks usually end your turn, but then we also have a swift action, which can be used as a regular action, or it can be used as a swift action, allowing you to do extra damage. So that can be quite useful. And now here we go. Danny is now a Mystic. So whenever allies stand adjacent to an interfused object, which I'll kind of cover off in a little bit shortly, that extra bonus damage, it interfuse the 1 additional target, or allies may wall with interfused objects. Extra armor. Let's go for the walling, actually. Let's go for Earth Scribe. And that might allow our melee unit to go up there by himself, essentially. So, augment of warding. Who do you want to give the warding to? Probably someone that doesn't currently have any warding, which could go to Red Air. But I think we honestly give it to Danny, because Danny's not going to have much max HP towards the end. And that's where the claiming of items there really depends on what you have. So everybody has like a necklace slot, a couple of ring slots, a helmet slot, an armor, weapon, all that kind of stuff. And if you choose one character, you cannot then change who gets that item later on. You can't switch out, there's no inventory system. You just claim it on whoever you want it. As it said down the bottom, it's permanent. So first order of business, we break these things down and hack up their parts. Second order though, you can't very well go back to sweeping cobblestones after this. Not when it could be happening elsewhere. Danny's right, we have to rise to meet this. And hey, who would have realized Bara and Redia made such a great team? There you go. Danny's just kind of off to the side there. Yep, and you're valuable too. Valuable, excuse me. We'll hunt them, we'll find them. We'll dig these splinters out of the world. We'll need a company name. Time to choose the name. A name for frightened folks to hold close. I was thinking, let's go The Keepers of Divinity. Sounds good. We've been playing some Divinity Original Sin 2, so that seems pretty accurate. We could, of course, make our own name, but I think that's a lot easier there, and I don't really have that much of a creative bone in my body. And this is the monster deck here. A deck, D-E-C-K, just for clarity. So we're going to be facing a lot of Morthagi, which is down this path. We might see some other ones, Thrixil, Gorgons, no Dwarvens in here, but also Deepus. So currently the Spectics now get extra damage as a result of that fight, so we have to be a little bit cautious of that. We do have 3 legacy points, so I think what we do, as this is kind of our map out here to the west, we don't really have anything over to here. We do have impassable mountains though, so that might be revealed later on. As you can see, it's kind of like a globe world, so later on this area will be revealed, but that's on our later chapters. So, this is the overworld screen. We can do multiple things. We want to scout, and as you can see, the hunter, as you'd expect, is a lot better at scouting than everybody else. So we'll just send the hunter here. We will say, let's go. And actually it won't continue with the overworld timer until we have everybody doing something. So we're going to recruit with these two, and we will say, let's go. And we find a new recruit. Do we want to take hot-headed romantic over here, Hearn? Or do we want to randomize and get somebody else? Greed Wagon. Goofish Snark, Compassionate Leader, Poetical Loner. We'll try the Loner, see how she goes. Are you worried that we're going to be overwhelmed, that it's worse than we thought? Come on, how are we going to become world renowned if we're not growing the ranks? Exactly, we need to grow our party. Plus, I'd like some extra help starting conversations when you and Rita are doing that awkward silence. That's reasonable. Third wheeling is never easy. The stars were beginning to come out by the time they got back into West Stoop proper. Good thing we got in when we did. Looks like most people are still out and about. Maybe we can knock out this errand sooner rather than later. As you can see, I think... No, we don't have our extra party member because our extra... No, we do have... Even though Bara was sent off to scout, she does kind of get whipped back into these kind of events that take place. So you got to break the immersion a little bit for that, but still, it's great storytelling. Lots of events, lots of random things that can happen along the way, and a lot of fun, that's for sure. Alright, so... Wait, you're back already? You wiped them out that quickly, or you didn't give up, did you? This is on birth. What? Of course not. Good, that would have been distressing news. Actually, we're back because we're looking to expand the company. What about you? You look observant. You'd probably fight with that thing in a pinch, right? Probably. I've thought about it sometimes when I'm out in the forest. There's not a lot else keeping me here right now. It's the season when a young woman has to figure out what to make of her life. And this season has brought a lot of changes. Can't argue with it there. It'd be good to have the help. We've learned a bit out there in the wild so far. We can have someone get you up to speed. So... this is where we either go for a second warrior, a second hunter, or a second mystic. I love having 2 frontliners, but I think we go for a mystic and then pick up another frontliner later on. Mystic usually means more damage, so now we will prepare the recruit with these 2 party members. Bara is still scouting out there. It'll take 44 days until we finish off the recruiting, but this won't take long at all to scout. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to break through the mountain pass. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start... Oh, we have to build... Oh no, we can scout there, so the bridge is already there. Sometimes you have to build the bridge yourself. That wasn't the case this time around. So we're just going to send Bara to scout up a little bit further, while you guys continue, as Redia and Danny are now rivals. You guys are going to continue over there to pick that one up. We're going to scout you one further as well. And then everybody's here. Onbeth has been recruited. I'm just going to call her Beth as well. That's going to be a little bit easier. So again, this is the mystic abilities. So we have a situation with elementalists. So fire does not burn out while interfused. Wood, splinter salvo, that's a higher damage wood upgrade. And infernal raid with the liquid. Advanced interfusions with mechanism applies poison to those who step next to it. Shackles, stunning barrage, and sharknado. I'm actually going to go for the elementalist. I feel like the infernal rain is fantastic and the wood splinter salvo is fantastic when it can work out. So with that in mind, we're going to send our party over to here. So we're going to gather all of our party members except for Bara, who's going to be scouting out that way. Again, there's nothing out here to the east. So we will wait until the scout here continues. And we'll continue scouting for a little bit. It is a bit of a waste to have your party members not doing anything there. But we will go and assault with absolutely everybody. and we will attack this out. Now what we're looking to get is the situation where we get one more LP. LP is kind of like the additional currency of the game, which will allow us to set up a station to the south, and that station will get us extra resources at the end of this chapter. So this chapter ends once we finish off the main chapter boss, but we'll see how we go. You can also see these ones here, we'll explain in a little bit as well. If you have played the game, this is probably all secondhand information to you, you know about it, but if you haven't, hopefully that proves useful to you. This is it, Kim Jong Lumberyard. I'm not even going to make a joke about that. You can make your own inferences there. Words be difficult sometimes as to what kind of joke I'm going to make there. The Morthagi are around here somewhere. Keep your eyes peeled. We'll fight soon enough, but first... What? Who are you? What are you doing here? We're the Keepers of Divinity, but never mind that. Sick bandana, mate. This is Kim Jong-un Lumberyard. I had to make it, I had to, isn't it? Home to the best brews this side of West Stoop. Your spirits have been called the nectar of the gods. Yeah, this is Kim Jong Lumberyard, and you heard right about my spirits, but I ain't brewed nothing these past few weeks. But why? Thrice cursed Morthagi scum is why, so the Morthagi are here as well. Come on in, see for yourself. Oh, that's putrid. Foul use of my fine establishment. They got me brewing up this vile concoction for them. I bring them fresh batches every few days in their ruins. Pour it right into their veins, if they have veins, that is. Does something wicked to them, this brew. Makes them faster and stronger. Why are you helping them? They have my wife. We'll get your wife back. 59% chance. This is a bit where the kind of XCOM chance of things happen a wee bit, but we want to help out your wife if we can do. Maybe we'll get some extra goodies for doing so. We'll get her back. You mean I haven't seen her in so long? Indeed, we won't let those monsters keep your beloved. So now we start the combat. We have two sommeliers. Looks like they might be a little bit different somehow, and two spectics as well. Both plus damage, or maybe they're just different skins of the same character. But as we can see, there is a door inside, so it looks like the other enemies are going to be inside here. And that means that we're going to be focusing on these two first. So, who has the Splinter Salvo? Was it Danny or was it Onbeth? I believe it was Onbeth, but I can click C to make sure. And you can see Splinter Salvo, 4 to 8 damage, which is huge at this one here. And we have wood here, and we have wood here. So this is where you see that Interfuse is what is known as a swift action. It's free once per turn. So that's what we're going to do here first. We're going to Splinter Salvo here, but then, we're going to Interfuse there. But then you can see that we can also Interfuse again. This one costing a second action point. We've still got 2 action points though, so that'll allow us to do something extra at the end. So we're going to go for here. And then we can use your Splinter Salvo, which is an upgraded action. And now we go for something like this, which is 77, 82, 4 to 8, 3 to 7. So we just go like this and see what happens. You blocked it, but at least the sommelier is basically dead. So that's very good news. We need to interfuse with something over here. We could do it with the campfire, sing our campfire song, and that could throw our fire out if we want to. But also, I'm wondering if we just throw out a jump jaw, because you're going to move towards us. So if we trap you as you move forwards, then we'll be absolutely fine. And then we just take a shot at you. I think that's going to be the best way to go about it. We'll move up one, we'll take the shot there. And that takes you out. We could then move you up to here, and you can see where the blue situations are. That is things that you can interfuse within the range or in the radius that you're in. So we're going to move you up to here. We can interfuse with one of these. That is a range of 5. That has a range of 5 as well. We're actually going to go for this bush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should reach, and indeed it does. So we can do that there. It did pin you as well. So pinning you means you're actually not going to jump into the traps. So I think now we just look to keep our distance. We're going to move you up to the door here, just in case some of our party members, some of our enemies start to break down the door. Now you are still trapped, which is good to know. We could take a shot there. And this is also important to note, is that we can move you up to here. And we can actually attack from this side, pin you once more. Like so. So you are pinned there once more. And then if we take a shot from here, because you can kind of do your magic abilities from behind enemies, we can attack from the other side and then get the kind of stunting damage bonus that we otherwise would have anyway. So we move Bara up. We still get the flanking bonus, so we attack you from there. And then we just move Onbeth up. You know what, we can just do the same thing. We'll go for the bush, and then we just keep wild grasping you. Pinning you non-stop. We even get the stunt damage. You're going to be stuck for the rest of time, basically. We're going to Guardian. Guardian allows you to attack anybody that comes near. So why don't we actually move up to here and then Guardian. So if anybody breaks down this door, then we are good to go, basically. We're going to move over to here, take another shot, and that is the death to you, which is great news. We then move, now Onbeth is the one that has the Elementalist, so Danny is the best one to interfuse with this cart right over here. We're going to move you over to here, and Danavian hasn't interacted with anything just yet, so I think you wait over to here, and we just wait until next turn. We don't want to open the door just yet, as we wait with you and we garden with you. We want to be able to surprise the enemy while we have all actions available to us. So, let us open the door with Danavian. There's a Spectre, so that means that there is still... maybe that's the last enemy, unless there's an enemy back there, which is also possible. Onbeth could move up... oh, you've already interfused with the most that you can, so that means that... See, if we move up with Onbeth, it doesn't give us the blue highlight, whereas with Danny it does, so that shows us what we can or cannot interact with. Shackle would pin you, of course, and this also provides cover, so this gives us good cover. This is partial cover, so if we go behind the barrel here, we can then interfuse with this saw. We can shackle you for 1 damage. Oh no, that was the end of your turn. Whoops. Okay, now that was my fault, obviously. Really can't blame anybody else for that. We're going to move you over to here. We're going to fire our jump draw trap over to here. We're going to take a shot at you as well. Low chance to hit because you are kind of hiding behind this good cover. But that is what it is. We will move you up to here. Provide some extra cover. And then Red Air, you can actually move up to, I don't know, here. Provide extra adjacency. Go on Guardian mode. Let's actually withdraw from this cart. I don't think that cart's going to be useful at all. And that means that you can then interfuse with something later on. So we're going to withdraw from both of them. You're going to get trapped in there, dealt 2 damage. And our Sommelier looks like it was moving over there, because that's where my camera got whipped. Again, assuming that there is a Sommelier over there, it's possible that it might not be. Let's go for our whack over to here. 93% chance, that should get the kill. Is that the end of combat? No, it is not. So there's likely somebody around here. So what we could do is maybe go for the shackle over there. So if we interfuse here, we'll get a little bit of extra view range over here. And that is where our enemy is. So now we can start a bit of a flanking attack over here. So let's see, that is a Splinter Salvo. So actually, we can't move and do the Splinter Salvo though. So I think we interfuse here. We then move over to here, I want to say. Any case, we can Splinter Blast over to here. That gives us quite a nice little bit of damage. Shreds your armor too. We could then take a shot around here, although you need to see the red line to see the attack. See, now you can see the attack coming in if we move over to here, but that means that we won't get the turn or the turn to attack this time round. So, I think what we maybe do, we jump over to here, and then we go for a Silk Step, which hides us. So now you don't see us, and we can just shackle you, although, oh yes, we can shackle you from here. But first I think we move over to here, into the shackle, from there into you, because I had 2 options available. I could have shackled you the other way. Now you don't get to move, and now we can just take our shots at you. So, we bring you up to here. I think you should be able to open the door diagonally, which you can. You come in from the rear, and you smack the Sommelier, and this should be the final blow. There we go. 5 damage, knockback of +1. There are different weapons as well, so that's our Pan, which has some knockback, but there are pitchforks and spears, which can attack at further range. Instead of having a range of 1, they have 2. And there is the Ember Jaw. So, because it's a tier 1 Great Axe, we definitely want to replace the tier 0 Mace. So, let's see. Increase of 2 damage, which is huge. We shred 1, so we might actually be able to shred some of their armor. There is no knockback, but there is extra stunt damage, so we'll definitely replace this weapon here. It is a 2-handed weapon though, so no shields are available. We're just going to keep it called the Ember Jaw. That's the last of them. You can come out now, Urvabald. That's incredible, you're amazing. But Thorlin, where is she? Look over there. Urvabald, is that you? Thorlin, you came. Of course I did. I couldn't have done it without these folks. Never repay you, but you'll never want for something fine to drink. There we go. So, this is a Calamity card. This gets added to the monster deck, which means that every combat that we win, monsters get stronger, but also, as we see that the Morthagi gets stronger, also every 100 days or so, a Calamity card comes in, where there are about 5 cards that can be added, and they can really, really ruin our day. So, we're going to look to investigate thoroughly. We're going to find an item here, and we're going to go for, let's see, 24 days if we do it this way. Let's go for these two, and then these two can come back here and build. Spend a legacy point to build an item there. So, because we have 2 mystics, I think we actually go for 2 fabrics here. Yeah, I think that's what we go for. So we're going to go for a Weaver Works. We bring across both of you. That's going to be 5 days to travel and 25 days to complete. It's going to cost us 1 legacy point. That does mean that the Calamity is going to come through. So the Calamity is going to mean we can't really avoid any of the issues that are coming through, but they only cost 1 to cancel. So we could cancel the Thrixel, but Morthagi are the ones that we're going to be facing up against pretty frequently. So I think we actually cancel this Morthagi. That's +2 armor and +1 warding. That's a little bit too risky for us. And remember, Morthagi are the main threat here. So if we cancel that for 1 LP, we can't cancel anything else, but we shouldn't be facing Thrixels, Gorgons, or Deepest all that commonly. But the Morthagis, keep that deck thinner, and then we're good to go. And you'll see that all these cards get stockpiled in their respective areas. We also have the monsters that we can see across here as well if we want to find out some more information about them. Spectrix already have the +2 damage. And of course, if we do face up against Thrixels, they're going to be quite a bit stronger. So, we keep going here. We're still securing this site, which will give us an LP, I believe, and also some extra goodies. Now, there is an incursion, and that happens faster from having more infested tiles. You can see all of these infested tiles with the little vine works across them. That means that they might spawn somewhere and then just start stampeding through the land and trying to destroy everything that we hold there. So we are going to have to prepare some defenses across some of our lands at some point. There is our Weaver Works. We'll go and send everybody over to here. That's now completed. We should find an item as well. So it'll now provide resource at the end of the chapter, which is great. Resources are used to construct weapons, armor, jewelry, anything really. So that's going quite well as well. We also get the Stormflint Cloak, which goes for a little bit of potency, and potency is fantastic. Potency does extra damage with your jump jaw. That's not too bad. Danny, potency usually works with you guys too, doesn't it? Elementalist, potency plus spell damage, potency plus spell damage. So it's going to be worth it on Beth. So we'll actually wear the Stormflint Cloak onto you. And that gives you extra potency. That means extra damage during combats, and that should be good to go. Now, strength of 5. We have 4 units here. Now, I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to prepare level 1 defenses here. So that doesn't take us too long. In fact, it only takes 9 days in total. And that'll mean that if anybody comes through here, it'll stop them from being able to destroy us for a little bit. So that's quite useful. And either way, they're either going to attack from this side and go through here, or they'll attack from this side when they go for their incursion. Did you see the huge moth that landed in Danny's here today? How could I not? You weren't going to say anything? Oh, cheeky bastards. If you walked around with that thing sticking out at a jaunty angle for like an hour, they tell me a story. On Beth, and you recruit, you're the gal with the stories, right? What would you like to hear? Tell me the one about the Trickster Moon. How about the Fire Queen and the Raindrop? Let's learn about the Trickster Moon. Told of how the moon used to be a dark hunk of stone until it tricked the sun into giving up some of its light. And the sun, as you always suspected, is an envious sort. The moon knew that a fair fight was out of the question. So while the sun was distracted, the moon fled over the horizon, drawn by a team of fireflies, and to this day they take refuge in the night sky, shining where the sun will never find them, giving their blessings to those who move swiftly through the shadows. And temporary speed. There we go. So I don't know if that's just for 1 combat. I believe it is just for 1 combat. But extra speed is quite useful on our melee unit up the front. Okay, who watches the Watchman? Oh my god. So the Water Spirit buffs up one of our units if we manage to catch it, but it's going to run very far. We've only got 4 turns to catch it, and the most important thing is to try and pick up all of these items here. Now, the good news is we can maybe blind some enemies. We could go for a Splinter Salvo here. I'm just trying to see what we could actually grab onto. If we were to interfuse, we could grab those items. Is there anything up here that we could grab? No, that's just scenery. So we do have the Bone Lance. Erupt a wall of ancient bones across the ground, impeding foes. To impale enemies. Impaling enemies is fantastic. We do have Shred on you though, so I'm wondering if we go across to here. We do also have a Spectic, so let's move you here. Okay, we reveal all of the remaining enemies there. That's a little bit sketchy. I think we have to move across to here as well. And then we have to throw our jump draw. Can I not? Oh, I can't throw any further than that? Oh, that's a shame. Okay, we'll throw it there in case you guys decide to try and move. We can throw our other jump draw if we want to, but I think we now just need to interfuse and do as much damage as we possibly can. So that Bone Lance is going to be pretty huge. Allies may wall with interfused objects. We have the Splinter Blast. How much range does that have? 2 damage, 2 shred, 2 PS. Let's actually interfuse with this first and we shall see. Because if we can shred some of their armor, that would be quite good. Although the issue is you're now going to be caught by that. And we can't throw any further. So no, that's not that great. I think we then interfuse with this instead. And we go for our Bone Lance through here. The Bone Lance is pretty good. Okay, you dodged it, but the Spectre did not. We can strike you and that should get 100% kill chance. And I think that's how we go for it. So we kill you, the Spectre is one less enemy attacking us. The Watchman does have strong attacks though. 4 to 5 crossbow damage. Ooh, we need to move you guys closer to each other, don't we? So if we go over to here, we then interfuse with either the rubble or the lamp. I think we lamp, and the lamp should allow us to flare, and the flare should blind you. 74% chance you dodge both attacks. Well, that's pretty garbage, isn't it? We can't shoot you, but we could swap to our other weapon and then attack again. We now can throw the jump draws further back though, so maybe that's what we do and look to trap as many enemies as we can. There's one trapped. We missed you, but at least you Redia blocked that one. You got trapped as well, but you also have ranged attacks. You managed to attack your own friend though, but how much damage are you dealing? Bara is dead. So this is the nightmare difficulty. This is the max level difficulty and the issues that we face. Redia feels as if his limbs are made of lead. He tries to call a warning, but he's too late. Bara doubles over. Fall back, it's not a command, it's a man's plea. Bara gets -1 health and -1 speed this campaign. Glad I gave myself up to be yours. Goodbye, love. Bara dies. Redia gets +1 warding this campaign. I don't think we can justify losing a party member just yet. So I think Bara has to fall back. Redia's voice is all she needs to hear. Bara must live. Live to share the pleasant and proud and even more difficult moments still ahead. Nothing's worth losing out there. These two are the couple anyway, aren't they? So that's understandable. Bara's now gone, but losing a party member this early is pretty awful. Water Spirit's running as far as it possibly can. We cannot Bone Lance any further than that, so that's a bit unfortunate. We could Splinter Shed onto you, and unfortunately all of the traps are gone now, aren't they, too? So we could Splinter Blast here, though. Go for that. I think we have to go for the Watchman here, but the issue is going to be there's a lot of enemies doing a lot of damage up there. We then go for... We could strike you, and you can actually attack from quite far up, can't you? So I think, do we go over here? We then get Danny. She interfuses with the fire. And the fire leaps through this way. 4 damage. And now Redia has to get the kill here. And it looks like he should. 6 damage. Great. Okay, but that's still only 1. Thankfully, you have to run through fire. Oh, no you don't. Not anymore. We do have a little bit of partial cover behind this, though. And we are walled up adjacent to it. Spectic is still kind of blocked over there. Bone Lance should now be able to hit you both. Nope. Okay, that's pretty awful. What else can we do? We do have a shackle over there. We could shackle Spectic, which I honestly don't hate the idea of. The Fire Leash could be pretty good though, but it's not quite in range. So do we Fire Leash and throw it up this way instead? That is the $1 million question, isn't it? Now I would love to move up to there and then take out the Spectic. And I'm wondering if I just bring you up and go for that. The Sommelier should be basically dead if we do throw the fire up to you. I'm wondering... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's withdraw from the flare. And then interfuse with this fire. And then fire leash that fire up to here. There we go. That's almost got you. Now, Onbeth can Bone Lance to there. It's not great damage, but I think it's the best one to go for. Not a great chance to hit, I should say. And now I think we just bring Redia up to here. And this should be pretty much a guaranteed hit to kill. 87%. There we go. So you actually ran through that door as well. You can see the spirits there is trying to get away. Firebouch. Great dodge on both of you there. Fantastic. You don't know what kind of mistake you've just made there, mate. Because now we can just send everybody So we're not going to be able to catch the spirit. We have to open that door. It's not going to work. So with that in mind, we fire leash you down to here. You dodged it. Righto. To be expected, I guess. We can move you all the way down to here, though, which is good. You then interfuse with this. My issue is, does it then hit red air? If we fire leash you down to there. Oh, we can't because there's a fire there already. Right. Okay. Red air. What happens if we strike? Possible chance to kill. There we go. Problem solved. Lover's vengeance. That's what you get for taking out Bara earlier. Now, will we be able to make it to the spirit? I think there's basically 0% chance of that happening. So the spirit's going to disappear. That should be the combat over. Danny's standing in fire. Bara is still alive, even if a little bit maimed. So that's obviously not fantastic. But losing a party member this early would be pretty horrible. We're actually going to salvage the shield, because while the shield is great, we don't have any party members that can use it at the moment, unless we put it in Bara's second hand, but I think we salvage it, and we will just get the ingot instead. The ingot can be useful to create some other item, so I think we just leave it there. You've been through hell, my dear, and the thought of you trekking back in this state is unacceptable, so I have a surprise for you. Come on. Lathmate, good you're still here. Hello. Bara, this is Lathmate. She's headed back out of here, and I've arranged a slight detail for her to give you a lift back to town. Arranged? Don't tell me you intimidate. Of course not. You just appeal to people's better natures. Most folks have one. He doesn't believe me. It just feels weird getting special treatment. You are special. You're in Death's front yard not too long ago. It's time to enjoy some good fortune while you can find it. Take care. Take as long as you need. It'll be nice. Maybe the treetops passing by. The bumping. That ox smell. Not as nice as she expected. So we can't skip these ones. Morthagi Weldlings are now stronger, and the Watchmen are now more armored as well. So we are down a party member temporarily. She's going to go back to town and get healed up. That means that I think we... Oh, she was our hunter too, wasn't she? So she's our way to kind of scout through. We're definitely going to secure this area. And we will just secure it with... We'll actually do everybody but Red Air. No, we should do it with everybody, I think. We can't afford to lose anybody else now. So you can see Bara is at 0 health. She's going to head back to there. She's only on 5 health total there, so she's pretty weak as well. We secured the site. We should get an item out of this. 1 heartwood and 2 spell threads. Not too shabby. And bonus damage. I like the bonus damage on... Let's see, was it Danny? Danny just has the Earth Scribe. I think we go for bonus damage on Onbeth. Because Onbeth has the great elemental damage, potency plus spell damage, and then bonus damage will be on top of that too. So Onbeth should be pretty awesome. Now, we will also prepare some defenses. We're actually going to go for tier 1 defenses again, just to buy ourselves some time to get Bara back. And now let's actually scout to the west first. You can see that it does kind of combine over there too. So Bara has now returned. We're back at West Stoop. So why don't we see what we can craft back here? As maybe Bara can upgrade her weapon. She's currently got a tier 1 bow. And she could upgrade these. She does have... We've got some legacy points. That's what they're called. And these are the resources that were picked up so far. So if you're wondering what the resources are for, here we go. This is just for you. We could upgrade just our beach curve, which is 1 LP. This is 1 LP for this one too. And this is for a magic stone bow. So this has a little stunt effect there. Shreds 1 armor and pins all enemies within a 2-tile radius. That can basically block enemies from moving up further. And don't have enough resources for this item, but you can. See, we've got 2 spell threads, and that's why we've picked up so many spell threads earlier. So I think we want Bara to come back stronger than ever. So we're actually going to give you this Grey Root Howl. 2-handed bow. We could maybe go for a crossbow instead, but no, we don't have the resources for it. It only costs us 1 legacy point, so we will use this now. We will craft this. The Crow Curve. You're going to be spending some time doing that. You guys are going to be scouting. This means that once you're back, then you'll be able to start moving back and catch up with everybody else. There we go. The Crow Curve crafted. That was quite a little mouthful, wasn't it? Let's go for the scout. We'll bring Bara away as well. So this is where we have to decide what we're going to skip. Now, Batchby. I don't think we want Batchby for a while yet. But then again, the tankier Sommelier is a little bit scary. We've only got 1 LP to cancel this. I think the Batchby is a little bit too tanky. So we're going to skip him by. But you can see that the Thrixel's getting strong. The Deepers are getting strong. And also the Morthagi too. So we will just keep moving here. See that the incursion is still close by. How did this get... Oh, Deepers are infecting that. Okay. So I think we go and patrol with everybody. That's a good way to group everybody up. It's going to take some time to kind of cancel that patrolling. Just hope that you don't get ambushed. There we go. Everybody's there now. Then we move across to here. attack these bad boys across this way. I'm surprised that it can be an infestation when it is defended, but I guess that's possible, right? We're going to move across to here. We should be able to fight them out before the next incursion. But again, the incursion is going to come and we're not going to be able to do too much about it there until we get some defenses going. Favorite fruit, mulberries, fresh off the tree, best part of summer. I'll let you know next time I spot one. Okay, my turn. Favorite thing to fight. That's like asking my favorite rash. Least favorite then. Might have to be Morthagi. Well, that's a bit of a shame then, isn't it? Since that's pretty much all we're fighting. Because they're over the next hill. I can never quite tell if they're alive or not. It's distracting. One of these days it's going to mess with the magic. And here I am making a career out of them. Not that old, right? Sometimes I wonder if it's not too late to start over somewhere. I wouldn't though, realistically. It'd reek of abandonment. Well, we appreciate that. Beth, you only just joined the party. Now you're talking about leaving? What about you? What keeps you here? The belief that peace can be found. People have it in them, but no one can be at their best with Morthagi creeping around. Get those out the way and then people will show you the world they're capable of building. When you put it like that, it sounds big. Sure it is. I don't know if it helps or if it's too much pressure, but it helps me when we get close enough to hear the clanking. Alright, well I'll tell you what there folks, as we get +1 armor and warding and we can see some of our enemies there, I'm actually going to leave the episode there. We'll be right back next week for another episode. Hope you did enjoy this one so far. If there's things that I'm not explaining too well, please do let me know in the comments. I can try and go in a bit more detail for you. As always, thank you very much for tuning in there. Great to have your support. Drop us a like and a subscription if you haven't already. I'll catch you next week. And bye for now there folks. Catch you later.